Okay, back to the story now. There are mixed reactions to the appointment of convicted fraudster Zongezile Zumane as CEO of Senorita Nhlabathi Hospital by the Free State provincial government. He was hired at the hospital in July 2025, where he is in charge of running the public facility, including handling budgets and public money. Zumane spent 8 years in prison after he defrauded the municipality of about 5 million rands and also formed part of a scheme which saw over 170 million rands stolen from public coffers. Free State Provincial Government Director General Dr Molefinyana Phera joins us now. Dr. Phera, you were still explaining to us about when exactly you picked up this criminal record.
Now, good evening again. Mr. Zumane, from the word go, when he was appointed in 2019, he did disclose his criminal record to the recruiting panel. But what the recruitment panel should have done was to subject this to further risk and ethical assessment, which they did not do. And that lapse led to his appointment. At that time, the appointment was at a very low level, so the senior management and the executive authorities would not be aware of that appointment. And then later on, in 2025, he applied for a promotion to be a hospital CEO, which is a fairly senior position. And that's what brought the controversy. Even with this latter appointment, our preliminary view is that there continued to be this lapse in risk and ethical assessment, because even as I speak with you now, we still do not have the police record that we usually ask when we recruit people, not only people with criminal record, everyone. We still do not have asset and financial report that we usually draw for everyone we appoint. So that shows that the selection panel committed this lapse in risk and ethical assessment, and they recommended the appointment of this incumbent, and we are sitting with this situation. But our preliminary finding is that the appointment could be said to be irregular and that it needs to be reviewed.
Yeah, and now that you say it could be irregular and needs to be reviewed, what is the status of the CEO at this current moment? Is he still employed at the hospital, still taking care of public funds and running this public facility?
No. Public service regulations, Regulation 63, allows us to shift the employee who is said to be risky elsewhere in the administration, where the risk eventualizing will be minimal. So we have done exactly that. He has been shifted within the Department of Health. He has been shifted to non-managerial responsibility while we are still investigating what has actually happened and what corrective measures we need to take in order to correct this appointment that we say could be irregular.
You say he's been moved from the Department of Health and to a non-managerial position. What position is that?
No, at the moment, Mr. Zumane is a nurse by profession, so he will be in the clinical environment while we are dealing with these matters.
Yeah, and when you say this appointment needs to be taken on review, have you asked for a report from that panel that recommended him in terms of why exactly they recommended somebody who had disclosed his criminal record?
Yes, in fact, I received the report today, which starts from what happened in 2019 and what happened in 2025. And from that report, we have drawn these preliminary reviews, detailing to you. And then people will have to account. The panel will have to account for its lapse in performing necessary risk and ethical assessments on this appointment. Both the 2019 panel and the 2025 panel.
Yeah, just give us a sense of what the report actually says.
Now, the report says, if I start with 2019, the report says the panel became aware from the application form of Mr. Zumane that he's got a criminal record. Now, they then contacted the correctional facility where he was incarcerated. From that facility, they received a report that vouched for his rehabilitation. And then, without further ado, they took that report to be enough risk assessment on their side. And that's why they recommended him in 2019. But our processes are saying you need to consider four things only in order to run risk assessment on this matter. You need to check the person's citizenship. You need to check the person's criminal record from SAPS records, not from any other person. You need to check their assets and financial position, and then you need to do their previous employment checks.
Yeah, now that
we believe that all these four processes were not done to the full by the panel, by the different panels in two different years and two different positions.
And what does accountability look like? You say that accountability needs to follow. They considered just a report from the correctional service facility. But what does accountability look like? And we're sitting with two panels here. Talk to us about the number of panels or number of members in that panel and what actually accountability looks like.
Now, when we have issues of this nature, panels and the value chain from the panel to the last person who took the decision to appoint are actually brought in to explain themselves, and when necessary, disciplinary action do take place so that we hold people to account. But for the employee themselves, for say an employee who was irregularly appointed, if we conclude that the appointment was irregular and he misrepresented the facts, he will be subjected to disciplinary processes. But if he did not misrepresent the facts, we will simply take the matter for review to the Labour Court to ask the court to review our own decision so that we can set aside the appointment, or alternatively appoint him elsewhere where there is no risk of him taking care of public funds.
All right, Dr. Molefinyana Phera is the Director General of the Free State Provincial Government, talking to us about the appointment of a convicted fraudster who has since been moved to a clinical department, while, of course, they're still considering reviewing that decision to appoint him as the CEO.